Hello there, I'm Connie.
Hello, I'm Dobbs.
Welcome to The Worry Book, a podcast for anyone who has ever worried about anything ever. In each episode, we'll be exploring a subject that we worry about while trying not to make matters worse or falling out with each other. This week, we're worrying about meeting people. So let's get started. Oh, you're a person.
I am. We're not worrying about meeting new people.
Yes.
I think that was it.
I'm not too worried about meeting you.
Meeting
and in fact,
people's not too bad.
In fact,
meeting new people is a nightmare.
Oh, why?
Because just don't know what to do. I mean, there's all kinds of different scenarios. Meeting someone like a girlfriend or boyfriend's parents is terrible.
Oh,
absolutely atrocious. I mean, obviously we're going through the COVID thing at the moment, which is great, for perfect time for meeting people like that. Because what do you do normally? Do you go in for handshakes, kiss on the cheek? Oh, at least now you can just kind of wave from a safe distance.
Handy.
Very handy, very handy. But and then it's like, oh, you've got to fight the jokes that you want to say.
Oh right, okay. Tell us more about this, because you're quite a jokesmith.
Yeah,
and you've got a particular style, I would say.
Offensive, you mean?
Yeah.
Well, it's just meeting new people. The kind of the expectation that I might be somehow okay, or they might be, or that I'm interested in them, or they're interested in me. There's a lot to take on.
That is a lot of thoughts that can easily become worries.
Yeah.
I can see that. You look quite worried now, actually. Even, you're obviously imagining these scenarios.
I pushed it and said new people, but actually it's not always new. Meeting people you haven't seen for a while. Or meeting people in public places where you don't know where they are. I mean, you can only stand and hold your phone and pretend you're doing something for so long.
Before you look and become suspicious. Because to be honest, if you're on your phone for that long, it's kind of obvious that you're plotting something.
Yeah, well, it is now. It wasn't a few years ago, because you just said you were doing a Pokemon thing.
Yeah, but then you have to waggle your phone around.
Do you?
I think so. I don't know.
I don't know. I got stopped in, where was I? Porto once. And these Portuguese people came up with just me and a few friends, and we were just following Google Maps. And they were like, "Oh, are you doing Pokemon?" Don't be fucking silly.
What, because you were...
We're adults, you idiot. Out of my face. What?
Did you say that in Portuguese? That would be very accomplished.
They spoke English like all Europeans should do.
Yeah. Oh, like all Europeans do, because we're a lazy bunch of motherfuckers.
Absolutely. It makes life a lot easier. I do speak some foreign languages.
Do you?
French.
Uh-huh.
Je voudrais un billet, s'il vous plaît.
Passable.
Où est la syndicat d'initiative, s'il vous plaît? Oh, continue du droite, troisième rue à gauche, traversez le square, and voila.
Voila, madame.
Yeah, I answered my own question then in French, for anyone that knows. I speak German. Schnell! Oh, das ist gut, ja?
I don't know where you will have got that one from.
I picked it up.
Yeah. From the television.
Yeah, and that might... Oh, Italian. Si. That's it. Oh, Dol Mio. I don't think that's actually
Dol
Italian.
Mio?
Yeah, I saw that on this morning's adverts. But I don't think that's actually Italian. And probably just offensive. So, yeah, that's
But you've brought us into a new realm, which is kind of, there's meeting people, there's meeting new people, and then there's meeting people abroad. And, all of those, so we can probably lump that together with new people. But, I mean, everything's just a bit of a minefield, because...
I'll tell you what I think it is. And this is the problem. whoever it is, it's meeting people who have some kind of expectation of me. That's what I don't like. Don't have any expectation of me. Nothing positive will come from this meeting. And then if something does, it's okay.
Can I pose a question to you?
Yes, pose away.
Why do you think they would have an expectation of you?
Well, if I was going out with their daughter, they might think I was respectable. If I was, say, I don't know, playing in a band or something, which I have been known to do, and someone comes up and says, "Hi, good concert," I'll go, because I'm not very good at taking compliments.
Oh,
and generally
I see. Yeah.
go, "Oh, thanks. It was all right," and then they get pissed off and stuff like that. So
that's more with people who, okay, so they might be new people, but
I guess
they will have had some kind of
new
interaction or knowledge of you. So your assumption will be that they therefore have an expectation and you have to live up to that.
Yeah, but also if you're meeting people, especially in a bigger group, then maybe they won't have a direct expectation of you. But then as the conversation goes on, say there's 5 of you, no more than 6 at the moment, but say there's a few of you, and then as people talk and people relax, then maybe if you're not saying enough, then the expectation is, am I saying?
I know that one.
And then yeah.
Have you ever had that situation where you're maybe out with a group, no more than 6 at the moment, of people, and it's perhaps a couple of people you know, and then the rest of the group is people that you don't know or you only know very vaguely, and for whatever reason you just really start the night on a high, like you're straight in there, you're like, really on form, you're very funny, or you just make this like knockout comment and everyone's kind of, wow, she is just someone I want to know. And then after that, you just can't think of anything to say at all. So you just start staring at people really, really intently, because that's something that I know that I'm very conscious of, is that I'll acknowledge that I might have peaked too soon. And then I become unbelievably introverted, because I just don't want to jeopardize my high score.
Yeah, your performance self thus far.
Yeah.
It's not something I know.
Have you never reached those heady heights?
Have gone into a hole by then anyway, and just no. Oh no.
I once had a very awkward interaction with somebody, which I'll recount for you.
Share.
I didn't realise that I was one of those people, but I was out for a drink with a friend, and she was, I think, just telling me how she was having a bit of a hard time. I can't remember what it was. It was a long time ago. It was either with a boyfriend, or she was having a hard time finding a boyfriend, or whatever it was. And I just went into this whole kind of like life coaching mode, where I just started saying, well, thing you need to do actually is, I think you should do this, and then you should do this, and then talk to that person, and talk to that person, and talk to that person, and here's a fact sheet, and here's a few website addresses or whatever. And no, it didn't go that far, but anyway, I was very much in like problem solving mode. And she just turned around, she went, I don't need a bloody counsellor, I just need someone to listen. And I realised that it was probably my anxiety about being with that person, and perhaps feeling slightly inferior to that person, because I have a feeling I did feel slightly inferior to that person, and wanting to kind of prove myself. And I did that in a really twattish way, which she had no qualms about pointing out to me, which with hindsight I'm kind of grateful for, but it did also make me incredibly self-conscious whenever I saw her again. To the point where if it was obvious that she was about to do something really bad or potentially painful, I was at pains not to get involved, because I knew that she didn't want a problem solver. So
I think that's fair enough. She made that bed.
She might have missed out in the long run. She might have, I don't know, for example, opened an oven door too quickly. I didn't jump in and save her because she didn't want a problem solver. But But, you know, we all learn something about ourselves through these interactions, I think. And yeah, I've definitely learned to only provide my problem-solving services when I'm sure that they're going to be appreciated from now on.
I think that's very wise. I think people's expectations generally should be low. As low as possible on most things. It's just common sense.
Yeah. And then you can be surprised.
Absolutely. If it all goes great, you go, oh, actually, I was quite
and
enjoyed
then it's
that.
memorable.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like, oh, and then meeting people, or you're going to someone's party, and then if you do know them or don't know them, and then it's the present thing, and then it's just all horrible.
Have you ever really ballsed up with a present or something, or not bought one when it was really obvious that you should have done?
Probably, but I've generally just not bought presents.
Yeah. Is your presence enough of a present?
Probably not. Or at some point it probably becomes too much to be present.
You're too present.
So again, I might be asked to leave or something.
Mm-hmm. Or go and have a lie down.
You know, what's the worst that's gonna happen? They're not going to invite me next time. That solves a lot of problems. Yeah. Right there.
Yeah, it reminds me of the party we went to. Do you remember? It was probably the first time.
Did we go to a party?
We went to a party, yeah.
Did we?
It wasn't that long ago.
Of course I do.
You remember the party at your friend's house with all your friends? And it was the first time that I was meeting.
Oh, yes.
It was the first time that I was meeting
Yeah.
quite a lot of your friends. And I spent quite a bit of time going around talking to people, but only on quite a peripheral level.
Yeah, this was, when you say party, this was like an afternoon drinks thing, wasn't
Party?
it? Well, yeah.
All right.
Party. Nothing got... I didn't stay at the end, but nothing will have got broken or anything.
All right, so
no, it doesn't count. It was like a stand around in the kitchen, have a bit of a chat, get a bit drunk in the afternoon. But anyway, what was your point about that?
My point was, I appreciate that there are different scales of party.
Yeah.
It was a gathering, perhaps.
Did you feel comfortable in that situation?
So.
So.
I think I would have felt more comfortable if I'd stayed longer.
That's it,
because I had a prior engagement,
didn't you? Yes.
And unfortunately, the way that I chose to introduce myself to all of these lovely new people was by saying, and I've got to go in a minute because I'm seeing Jack Whitehall at the Manchester Arena.
Yeah, some of these people are quite cool.
Some of these people were really cool. I'd go so far as to say every single person at that non-party.
Not that Jack Whitehall's terrible or anything.
Cool.
Cool when you're seeing him at the Manchester Arena, 20-odd thousand capacity arena.
And it was my nerves that took over because I wanted to have something relevant to say, and my head went comedy, but then it also didn't quite equate with with what that comedy might say about me. Nothing against Jack Whitehall, by the way. It was a great gig. I was very far away, though.
This might make you feel awkward, but I don't know if you remember this. But one of my favourite points, which I did go to you, I can't believe you just did that. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
No, well, we got there in the afternoon. Obviously, everyone took some drinks. So we took like a box of Strongbow.
Yeah, I remember that.
So we went there, we put the Strongbow in the kitchen, and the host, who's a lovely friend of mine...
Oh, I know what you're going to say now.
Went, yeah, would you like a drink? And you went, yeah, can I have some red wine, please?
Yeah, I still don't get what's wrong with that.
Take red wine. You can't just kind of...
That's the whole point of a party, is you have whatever's there. You don't just drink your own drinks. Who does that?
Here's some special brew. I'll leave that there. Can I have some Moët, please? It's got to be at least on the same kind of level.
What? Okay, yeah, it was quite a nice wine, and I think they'd just opened it, and maybe they'd been saving it for a special occasion.
No, to be honest, I don't think there was an eyebrow raised other than mine.
But didn't you sort of point it out to everyone in the kitchen?
No, I just pointed it out to you. Of course I wouldn't do that.
Oh, okay, that's nice of you.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that.
You're talking about it now.
My eyes probably did. I was like, bloody hell.
Yeah.
Cheeky cow.
I don't think that's cheeky, though.
Well,
I still don't think that's
maybe
cheeky.
It's not. Maybe it's not.
See, of all the things that I worry about, I wouldn't worry about that at all. I think I bought some drink, therefore I'm going to have some drink.
Oh yeah, but I'm like, if there's still a few crisps left in, I can't take them because unless I think I've got to have my fair share.
What, so you'd leave crisps even if you wanted them?
Well, a fine example of this, and maybe this is another show as well, is tapas.
Oh dear.
Tapas,
we've
terrible.
explored this a little bit.
It's alright with like 2 people, that's fine, I can deal with that. But when there's a group of people and it's like, how much do you take? You don't want to take too much, but you don't want to take too little. It's terrible, and especially when you're vegetarian, which I am. Then there's usually not as many vegetarian ones, but then everyone goes in there. Or you going on now, but I've been to Works Do's in the afternoon or whatever, and they've brought out some fucking tray of Marks and Spencer's sandwiches, and everyone goes, "Oh, what are you eating?" He goes, "Oh, I'm vegetarian, so I'm having like the cheese ones or whatever," and they're like, "Oh, I might try some of them." You go, "Get the fuck off! You have the bloody ham or beef or whatever.
One of your 7 meat sandwiches that you've got available to you.
Rather than my egg or cheese.
Or hummus.
That are cut into the tiniest little triangles.
Or worse, you just get...
Hummus, you'd be lucky, I think.
A bowl of celery and a cherry tomato instead of a sandwich. I've seen that.
I don't mind that. Sounds quite good.
I would feel let down by that, to be honest.
Yeah. I once got a vegetable pizza in Austria. This is years ago, which was literally a pizza base with sort of like, you get like your frozen Findus vegetables, like with carrots and stuff like that on the pizza. And the carrots were actually like the corrugated ones.
Carrot pizza.
We'd chop them with those.
Yeah, I know those ones.
Yeah, so there was like carrots and peas and sweet corn. Sweet corn obviously is fine. Peas is a bit weird. And there might have been stuff like broccoli and stuff, which again, it's not. I ate it. It was fine.
But it was literally a pizza base with some frozen veg.
Yeah, I don't think they understood the concept of vegetarianism at that point, and just translated it as vegetable pizza.
The pizza.
So therefore, it was
with
a vegetable pizza.
Yeah,
and fair enough. I can't translate Austrian or German to.
Well, there we go. It illustrates our point.
Exactly.
It all comes down to communication, which is something that I can also find myself severely lacking when I meet new people. And I don't know if you get this, but it's almost like when I meet new people. So, recently I've been working from home, and there's been a couple of people who've actually started jobs during lockdown who haven't met any of their work colleagues. So we've only ever seen each other on a screen. And I'm very used to it now because, I've done hundreds of video calls, but there is still that kind of awkwardness of what do you say to somebody that you don't really know that well. And, there's this kind of, where do you find your small talk and sort of, what if, because I tend to kind of want to go in quite deep, quite early, and sort of, try and find out a bit about people and sort of what makes them tick. But it's really difficult to do that if you haven't met them in person, I've found. And sometimes I just find myself wanting to ask really inappropriate questions of people that, the sort of thing that I would ask somebody, who I knew was going to be my mate. I'd maybe ask them, You
would harass them.
I'd harass them. I'd maybe...
Well, the whole Zoom thing and the whole chatting online and weird stuff like that is quite alien. Probably sound very old now, but I've never had to do that with work or whatever. So even just chatting with friends or people I know quite well, I can't do.
No, and I think it's more difficult now because we've all become a bit anti-socialised. And I just find, both on the Zoom calls and also when I've had the very few human interactions over the last few months, I'm just very starey. It's almost like I want to sort of, my eyes can't take in what they're seeing when I'm staring at another human being now. It's like I've become desensitized to human contact.
Features.
It's like I'm looking at them like trying to place what they are. Like, are they some kind of other species or, so I'm conscious that I'm just very starey. I think I've always been quite starey anyway. And now I think it's taken on another level because, now we're wearing masks, so a lot of how you communicate with people is probably done through the eyes. So, I'm probably staring at people and trying to work out how to not say something intrusive about, isn't it fascinating to just find out what everyone's parents did? Why would you not ask that as like the first question? Apparently that's not something that you need to know.
Is it not? Have you tried that? That went down badly?
No, but it's kind of it's the sort of thing that I would want to ask, to get not out of any sort of like social judgment, but just to kind of, try and place people a bit, or, find out what sort of
what makes them tick.
Early 90s indie bands they're into. Answer is usually nil. But that's because everyone I work with is at least 10 years younger than me. So everything I like is retro.
Retro's cool though, so it's fine.
But yeah, people, I think it's just going to get more worrying, unfortunately, at the moment. I think meeting people, new people, foreign people, I think it's just going to get more nerve-wracking until we get to like a new place of comfort with being with each other. What do you think?
I think that's quite nice that we can all like disperse into our little insular worlds where we don't have to actually sort of converse and meet new people.
Well, you wouldn't have to worry about what you say.
That's what I mean. It'd be fantastic.
But you wouldn't. You'd just be on your own most of the time.
Yeah, I guess that wouldn't be brilliant, but
it'd be preferable to all the offence.
Or maybe just people I've already met. I could, as long as I'd seen them recently, or nothing major had happened in their lives. Like then had a bereavement or something, because then that's terrible.
Yeah. Seeing
someone who's had a bereavement.
Does that make you nervous?
Well, yeah, because I just don't. Especially if someone close to you, sorry for your loss. It's like, that's not enough.
Yeah.
But,
what is enough, though?
I don't know what's enough. And it's like, and then depending on how whoever's died or what it is, what you're going to put your foot in it, Anna. I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought you said Anna.
No, I didn't.
But that's okay.
No, I just I said Anta.
Yeah. No, I heard
my
that.
accent. Oh, what are you on about?
No, I heard that. It's a tricky one. I think I'm sufficiently anti-socialised that I'm even finding it difficult to talk to you, which is unfortunate.
That isn't great.
For the purposes of this recording. But, I'm sure we'll break through it. Maybe we shouldn't dwell on it. Maybe that's a lesson. Maybe we should just, say the first thing that comes into our minds. And, at least that way we're interacting. Maybe I should just ask people as soon as I meet them what their parents do for a living. And if their parents just died, well, then I'll have to deal with a bereavement. And if they
die doing what they do to make a living, which is irony.
Well, it's a talking point. It's a talking point. And, and then we move on from there into painting a beautiful tapestry of their lives to date. And before we know it, we've become great friends and the world is a better place.
Oh, beautiful. On that note, should we leave it?
Let's leave it. I'm a bit tired.
I am too.
Yeah, I'm not very good with people.
Okay.
All
Good
right.
night, people.
Good night, people. Sleep well. Find The Worry Book on Twitter and Instagram, and if you like what you're hearing, don't forget to subscribe. We're also supporting Mind, the mental health charity. If you'd like to make a donation, visit mind.org.uk. Thanks for listening, and bye for now.